Hi everyone, this is Jen Tiller here on Healerzone TV, part of the Healerzone community, and I'm delighted to welcome my friend and colleague, the wonderful Karina Ladet. She is an intuitive channel and a healer, and she's going to be running a wonderful event in Brussels. It's called the No Limits event, and we'd love you to get involved in any way that really appeals to you, resonates with you. And so I would just like to share Karina's presence and her interests, but it's much easier if she tells you that because it's her passion. So Karina, will you please introduce yourself and tell us the focus of the event and what it's all about?
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me, Jen. It's such a pleasure to be here and to connect with your wonderful community. So my name is Karina Ladet, and I work as an intuitive channel, healer, mentor, mostly online. I do a few workshops worldwide, as much as I can, really, because I love traveling. So I'm Swedish, but I live in France. I'm in the south of France, and I do workshops so in Europe, in Australia, and pretty much anywhere anyone will want me to go. Because I really love connecting with people, and I spent a lot of time in front of my computer, and as much as I love the connections on the internet, and I think it's amazing, it's an amazing tool, I do long for that in like real life connection where you can actually hug people, right? And just hanging out with people who have the same interests and who are kind of like recreating the online environment, but offline. And so where I live, it's a pretty isolated area, so I don't really have that many people who that I can connect with in that way. So with a friend of mine, Joanna Hennen, who is based in Brussels, she and I were talking about how awesome it would be to have like a really heart-centered, soulful event for people like us. But all we could see were like events in Australia, in the US, and sometimes in the UK, but not quite what we're looking for. And so we had the crazy idea, really, to create our own events. And we thought, well, maybe we can do it. And we invite our favorite people to come and speak. And then we create an event that is a mix of like the marketing and the business stuff and the practical business tools with like all the energy mindset and all the pieces that we use as well in our businesses. So that's kind of how the No Limits event was created. And it was really strong intuitive guidance because Joanna and I had never done anything quite like that before. We had no idea where to start. And I think for both of us, a lot of our clients were actually not in Europe. So we had no idea, how to even start. So it was how it works, right? You get that intuitive guidance and you go, okay, how am I going to do that? And then you're being shown one step after the other. So this year we're doing the second event because we did one last year, and it was just amazing, like the people who showed up and the energy there. Like, so I think I have to say one thing that's really makes this event stand out is really the energy and the safe space and super high vibe. Because even as an energy worker, and I'm sure you can relate to that, it's like, it can be really powerful when you sit in circle with people and you do healing and stuff. Having that in like a business conference setting was just amazing how we all lifted each other up, and it was warm, it was funny, we cried because it was really touching, like it was just so wonderful.
Everything you want in a connection, all in one place. And it can, by the sound of it, it's combining the heart-centered work with the real practical stuff. So, that's the Healerzone audience, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have our coaches and our therapists and our trainers and our medical staff, some of them, who are givers, and they need to have the practical. How do you get that into the world? And that's really the focus of from what you've been telling me, or have I missed something? That's the purpose of the conference, really?
Yeah, exactly. Because I see healers and intuitives and people who are like alternative practitioners who have amazing gifts. They're amazing people. But when you want to really touch an audience and grow your tribe, it's like you have to be out there. And for a lot of people who have these gifts, it's like there are a lot of introverts, sensitive people. Like it's not that easy, right? And I find that when you have the right tools and you know what to focus on, so you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get distracted, you don't get discouraged. I mean, we face a lot of stuff when we go out into the world, like just being visible and sharing the work we do without, you know, fearing anything, and without, you know, it's not super comfortable. And I think for most of it, it's not very natural. Like, it's not easy. So when we find like the typical marketing advice,
it's just not comfortable. No,
it doesn't work, right? So we're like, oh, I have to fit into that. But actually, you don't. There are different ways of doing that. And also the speakers that we invite to the event, and this year it's the same. We've chosen like really warm, fun, generous, super heart-centered, super like soulful people who also have great business skills. And when they show you, because our idea is that people come away from the event with something practical, like super motivated, like super energized, but also with like practical things to do. Because you know how sometimes you meet with someone or you go to an event and you feel really inspired, you go home and you don't really know what to do with that for you in your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, translating the passion into the practical. So your people are going to go away with, you know, a list of things they can do and maybe some real understanding about the how.
Yes. So very practical, and also like the big picture, because I find that sometimes when we go from teaching or doing healing sessions one-on-one and we want to scale that, because at some point maybe we want to have more time with our families, or we want to make more money, we want to have a bigger impact. It's like it starts to, you know, get a bit uncomfortable. We don't know how to get past that, except maybe raise our prices. And sometimes maybe that's not the route where we want to go, right? So it's also about how you can scale your message so that you can, that's my idea at least, to like work actually less, but be more efficient and reach more people. And that's not like it's not like a quick fix or anything, but there are tools that people are using and it's really working. So, because I think especially when we do work like this, we also need to take care of ourselves. And when we're working all the time, we don't do that. We don't have the time for it, or we don't have the money for it. And so as natural givers, like you mentioned at the beginning,
when we give till we drop it, it's, you know, we need to receive to keep that cycle going. It's absolutely essential. You know, one of the Healerzone mottos is you can't give what you don't have. But at the other end, it's together we grow, and that's what this event is all about. That richness. Can you give me some, or give our listeners, because I've had a bit of this conversation with you previously, which is why I was so excited to share it. You know, what people who were at the last event have come back to you with and said, since then I've done that.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, that's a great question. It's so interesting because our intention for the last event was deep transformation, not just like I had a great time, it was awesome, I learned a lot of things, like really profound transformation. And when we talked to the people who came last year, and if some of them are coming back again this year, that's what they said, even just after a few months, because they were really profound inner shifts. And for a lot of them, they just had so much more clarity around who they are, what their true gifts are, because we were like mirroring each other all the time. And so they got lots of feedback from the speakers, from other people attending. Like it was like a mastermind nonstop for like 2 days. Wow. So, you know, it's like really receiving that all the time. So a lot more clarity around, you know, what they really do and the impact it has. So that was really, really great. And then there had been like tangible things like getting book deals, writing books, creating programs, changing everything in their business and going in the direction they really wanted to go. New websites, being a lot more visible. I love seeing people who are at the event who are not super confident on video or, you know, speaking, who are now like doing public speaking, you know, like doing Facebook Lives all the time, and they look like super confident because they are becoming more and more confident.
Yeah. Well, once you get sort of, it's an integration, isn't it? You get authentic and you show up and you go, I'm not pretending anymore, so I've got nothing to hide. I love that when people do that. It's just so, it's beautiful to see. It's just inspiring to see. So it sounds like that's what everybody will have some aspect of that will definitely come out of that work, this coming event for you. So tell us the practicalities, where it is, how long does it last, what are you doing with that?
Yes, of course. So we're going to be in Brussels, Belgium, and we'll be in a really beautiful hotel. And so we can stay at the hotel, and then we have the event as well. So that's really great. We don't have to like travel all the time, and it's really in like downtown Brussels, so very easy to get there. And Brussels is like, it's a big city, but it's not that big, so it's very easy to get around. It's really beautiful. We love like going out for dinner and going for walks and stuff whenever we could last time. It lasts 2.5 days, because last time we did a day and a half, and you just want a little bit more when you're there, because there's something magical about being immersed in that energy. So it's all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then half day on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be really lovely, I think, to just connect in that intense way. And also because I know there are a lot of introverts and sensitive people who tend to be drawn to this work. There is also space for them to like go away for a little bit and like integrate and process and be quiet. And people are allowed to like go back to the rooms. They don't have to interact all the time, because it can be really intense, even if it's, lovely. And sometimes it's nice to take a step back and relax a little bit and not have to, full on all the time.
It sounds absolutely wonderful. So can you tell us the names of the speakers, and
yes. I could talk about them for hours. I won't do that, but
yeah, a little bit would be absolutely wonderful.
Yes. So one of our speakers is Lenka Lutomska. She's a really amazing coach and speaker, and she has an amazing program, and people love her. She's super, you probably heard of her too.
I've certainly been on her webinars and some of the things. She's great, yeah.
She is. She's so warm, and she's super successful, and she's very generous, and yeah, it's typical kind of person we would want to have at our event. Yeah. So she's coming, and Sashka Hannah Rappel, who's a brand strategist, branding guru, but she's really into like how to create a soul brand and to attract your soul clients. So she's really funny, very high vibe. She dances and does like invitations and stuff. She's hilarious. So and Sashka is from South Africa, but she lives in Austria. So actually there are quite a few people who are from just lots of different countries. It's very international.
Great, yeah, ideal.
And it's great for people who think that branding is really boring and weird and we don't know what to do with it, because Sashka is just so down to earth, and she makes that soul connection that makes it just shifts how we see branding as well.
Absolutely. Branding is just so not just the font you use and the color scheme. It's every interaction you have with your client. And if she can convey that in a rich, beautiful, funny way, that's got to be worth going to. For there'll be one, I'm sure, for each of the people, there'll be one person they go, that's why I'm going. And then they'll discover that they need everything, or they will love everything. But there'll be a focus for each person. Yeah.
Yes, that's so true. I think at least one person where you go, wow, yeah, definitely. It really felt, when Joanna and I were guided to do this event, it really felt like on a bigger, higher level, like we were gathering with our soul families, and we were reconnecting and creating like that beautiful grid and reaching out to more people. There was something really kind of high purpose, I guess, to what we're doing. But yeah.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. So how can people find out more about it, and how can they connect even before the event?
So we have a website, the nolimitsevent.biz, and we have a Facebook a group as well, where the people who have signed up, the speakers, Joanna and I, and everyone who's just interested in knowing more about the event to see if it works for, if it resonates for them. So it's on Facebook, and it's called the No Limits Event Tribe, and it's really lovely. We share like videos, and people can ask questions. So it's not like a salesy page place. It's really for people who are curious to know if it's right for them, because we really want people to come if it resonates. Of course, sometimes these things kind of stretch us a bit, don't they? Like, am I really going to make this time for myself? And can I really invest this in my business and time away from families and all of that? But and then I think it's good to like grow into that and take the step. But it's important to really listen and see if it's the right time and it's the right thing.
Yeah, and the resonance is, as you said, is absolutely key. But I think there's a certain truth. It's like, do I invest in myself, in my business? And sometimes stepping away from everyday things, the essential way to do that, because how do you focus when you've got kids, and in my case, the cat, and and family stuff, and just day to day, somebody's at the door with the post, and you've just got to. You're constantly being drawn away from the focus. And the beautiful thing about this event is that they will be able to be held in that loving space with that purpose that together we move to the next level, wherever that is for us. It's not, you should do this. How does this work for you? And I just love that vibe. I think it's a wonderful thing you're creating, Karina. I think it's just beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen. That's really the idea we wanted to, like, it's really a place for everyone, because we had like super extroverts, we had like super sensitive introverts, and it was like everyone was really celebrated and seen and valued as they were. It was kind of like recreating this ideal world where we all see each other and we all honor each other, and we were all like receiving and giving to each other. And it was really magical. It's kind of like being in this bubble. And when you experience it physically like that, it just it really gave me faith, about how we can create a different world. And especially with what's going on in the world now, it's like actually together we create amazing miracles. And we should not lose sight of that, because we're more powerful than we think we are, but together, right? Not alone in our own.
Yeah, completely. Isolation is something that kills creativity. It's funny, we need isolation, we need stillness, but we need connection to flourish. Really interesting difference, and we have to have that. It's really vital. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, and I look forward to hearing more about it. And I'm part of the group now, so that will be wonderful. And if there's anything that I can do for you, or if anybody watching this needs more information, just get in touch with either Karina or myself. And obviously the Healerzone community on Facebook or the .com site. We'll be posting this there as well. All right. Wishing you all a day, a life filled with love, light, and laughter. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Jan.